Well, on everybody. Lennox here from S123 Trader. Today is October 10th, Sunday, and I'm going to give you an overview of the Forex market in relation to the cryptocurrencies. All right, so just a little background on myself. I've been trading since the early 90s. Went through the dot-com bubble and the 2008 meltdown of the banks. And we are now in the Bitcoin blockchain era. And I've been trading the Forex since 2017. Previous to that, I traded primarily the options market and a little bit of commodities for a long time previous to 2017, of course. And using the simple 1-2-3 method, although it was not called that at that time, I was just basically a Elliott wave user, so an Elliottian, and using the Elliott wave 1-2 trade setup or chart pattern to trade from the second wave up to the third wave. So I'm going to walk you through some of the Bitcoin blockchain stocks in the market currently, and give you an idea of what I think is most likely to occur with them. All right. So this is our website, the Simple 1-2-3 Forex Trader. And I'm just going to log in. I'm just going to show you a couple of things, and that will. So we have an Auto123 expert advisor. This is a program that we've created internally. Myself and George Pitcher from New Jersey, who's one of my partners, we've created this automatic 1-2-3 EA that mimics our alerts. And our alerts, let me just go to alerts. Our alerts come from an indicator in MT4 that pinpoints the 1-2-3 setups and then gives us alerts on the hour or every 4 hours, depending on what time frame you're choosing. So right now there are currently no alerts for the current hour, but you can always look at the most recent alerts. And here we had GBP New Zealand H4, for example. That was the last one on Friday, and so on. Okay, taking a look at our results summary. So what this results summary shows is all the alerts each week and what the weekly profit is and the weekly pips. So we started this back in November of 2020, November, and we've had quite a nice run. We've had, of course, our first loss came in 2021 March, and then after that we had quite a run where we didn't have any losses until May, and in quite a run in June, had only one loss, and then in July we finally found that the summer doldrums. We had a number of losses here, and I think there's 6 in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in a row. But in 1 week, in October, or sorry, in August, we practically made up for those losses. In 2 weeks, we made up for almost all those losses. And showing again with a couple more losses here, end of August, and then one in September, and after that we've come back with vigor. And last week, 176 pips. So quite the move there. And so far we started off with an initial balance of 5,000, and our current balance is now 12,520. So a net profit of 7,500, 150% gain in 11 months, and that is trading with 0.1 lot per trade. Now, if you were trading with one lot, this would be a $75,000 gain in 11 months on a $5,000 initial balance. So pretty good. All right, so that's a look at our system and how we and our members trade the Forex market for profits. All right, so let me go over now to investing.com. I'm going to take a look at the currencies. So I go to investing.com charts and I go to the cryptocurrency chart. And this brings up a chart. And what I will do is walk you through all these currencies. So this is my take, like I say, on what I think is more than likely to occur with these. So starting off with, and half of these I don't even know what they are. ADA, Cardano. So ADA. So on the weekly chart, it's quite the run. Has come back down. Let me just make this a little bigger. Okay, has come back down, and now let's see. Is it a worthwhile play at this point? $2.19. Let's go to the daily. Okay, so what we're seeing here, and one of the ways I look at the charts is I can draw trend lines and so forth, just to kind of give me a gauge of where I am and so forth. So I'm seeing um, the first trend line here, so I would do something like that. Okay, let me put the magnet on. Okay, let's do that again. Okay, so that's a support. So price has come back down to our support, has bounced off our support, and is now looking to head back up from the 190 area. So are we ready to go? Would be the key question at this point on this chart. A closer look on the 4-hour might give us an idea of that. Okay, so you can see, again, if I draw another trend line, I can then get a good gauge of where I am overall. So dropping here. So now, looking at this, I can see that more than likely price is going to continue down for a bit, and we could come back into this area down here. So I would be a little hesitant at this point to jump in and buy this ADA at this price. I would be waiting for a play to the downside. On the other hand, should something change dramatically, a buy stop above this high here would be a good play as well. So buy stop above this high, and if price breaks to the low end, no harm, no problem. We're okay. But a buy stop above here would give us any moves to the upside in the interim. Okay, so that's my look at ADA. All right, so let's take a look at the next one. We'll look at algo. I'll go to the weekly time frame. I'm starting off with the weekly. I could go to the monthly, but monthlies usually, these are so new. The Bitcoins and the blockchain stocks are so new. You're just getting huge moves. So the weekly kind of levels it out a little bit. So quite the move on this pair, algo. So what I'm seeing is the Elliott wave structure, and now we're moving back down. So my expectation would be for price to move back up into this area, and then a possible down. Of course, it could continue. So that would be the two scenarios at this point. Okay, so dropping down to the daily time frame. I'm just going to do a couple of these because there are so many. It's too many to go through. So on the daily time frame, then again, I would be looking to see where my support area is. Right now, it's in this area here, so that would be my support line at that point. So looking to see if we're actually really bouncing to the upside, or are we coming back down at this point. So dropping to the 4-hour will give us a good idea of what's going on there. So on the 4-hour, here's our support area, and it's looking like, again, at this point, that we are heading to the downside. So looking at that, I would see something like this continuing and taking us back down to this support area before I would even look at that jumping into this trade. Again, a second option, a buy stop above this point, say around a $2 area. In case we're totally wrong and this is not going and this would take off, then again, uh, an opportunity to jump in when price breaks. And if we're wrong and the price doesn't break, it's heading down like we expect it to do, then we're okay at this point. Okay, so right now it's sitting at a support level here, but it still looks more so than like we might get a little bit of a bounce and then a drop. All right, so that's my take on that guy. Let's take a look at the big boys, Bitcoin. Okay, so Bitcoin, let me go to the weekly on Bitcoin. So quite the run on Bitcoin, and the takeaway with Bitcoin was that we came up and had a head and shoulders. We then broke through that neckline, dropped down dramatically, came down to a support area. Again, that support area is so key, and this occurred in here. So you have to remember that the support is an area; it's not just a line. So really, what I'm looking at when I say support area is an area, like something like that. All right. So we came into that area and we bounced dramatically to the upside and are bouncing again after hitting yet another support area in here, which is corresponding to an area in here. Okay, so dropping to the daily time frame, we can take a closer look at all that. And let me just put all those back on. So this is where I drew those support areas, which is not relevant to this time frame, but you can see. All right, so here we had not yet another. So I'm going to just do this with this instead. So just another support area here. Okay, we came into that area and we bounced dramatically again to the upside. So are we done at this point, or do we still have more to go? Looks like we still have more to go because of the fact that we're just at this level and we still have resistance up here. So I'm looking for price to break higher into the close to the $60,000 area for Bitcoin in the short term. Okay, so that's my take on Bitcoin going forward. Now, of course, because we're in this area here, we could have some gyrations, we could have some pullbacks, things like that. So again, I can drop to the 4-hour time frame, take a closer look at what's going on, and you can see we are indeed just traversing sideways. So we're inside of a channel going sideways. So we could indeed come back down, even back down to this level before we get that move to the upside. That is totally possible, but we'll see how that plays out. We could break, of course, straight through. So there's a couple scenarios that we could also continue sideways. So there are 3 scenarios. We could continue sideways, we could drop, or we could go straight up. So which one is it going to be? Because of the gyrations, it's very difficult to ascertain what's going to happen, but we have to have some expectation of what's going to happen. So my take on it, like I say, right now because we're in a sideways pattern, I could even go down to the 1-hour time frame to get an even closer look at it, and now I can clearly see what's going on. We are just again inside of this gyrating pattern, and we are now sitting at a support area in there, and more than likely are going to continue bouncing to the upside. It is very unlikely that we're going to break to the downside. It's totally possible, but a little bit because of what's happening here. The strength is here. We could push to the upside in short order. All right, so that's my look on Bitcoin heading up to 60,000. Okay, so let's go back now, and I'm going to go to the next big boy is Ethereum. So just take a look at Ethereum, and that's on the weekly, and it too has made a similar move like Bitcoin. So dropping to the daily, you can see again came down to a previous support area, all the way across, and a big move to the upside. So we're sitting again at another support area and looking like we want to continue to the upside. So dropping to the 4-hour on that one, what I'm seeing overall, there's that move from down here that took us to here. So we're sitting again at a support looking to bounce. So it looks like we might be done that move here and looking for a continuation to the upside. Okay, so Ethereum looking good for a move to the upside. Bitcoin looking good for a move to the upside. Now, in the upcoming videos, I will go through some of the other pairs, but I don't want to make this video way too long, so I'll leave it with those for now. All right, so profitable trading to everyone. Thank you for sharing your time. Be safe. We're done now. Thank you.